Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahatu samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahatu samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahatu samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang dhammang sanghang saranang gacchami. So dear friends, so happy to participate in a discussion and maybe some meditation practice in this house today. So we have offered the flowers, the water, the incense, and may all of the light that's been offered to the Buddha in the name of the Buddha, and the thought of doing so bring us the merit of realization of the truth of the Dhamma. So, to start the day, I've chosen to consider two words, and that is returned replies. Yeah? Returned replies. Okay? So, before we get to talking about that, how many of you would like to take the precepts, to clean your precepts? Yeah? Okay. So, if that is so, would like for you to say the namaskara and we'll take the 5 precepts. Okay? Sadhu kila patang. Buddhang saranang gacchami, Dhammang saranang gacchami, Sanghang saranang gacchami, Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami, Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami, Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami, Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami, Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami, Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami, Saranagamana sampunyang Panatipata veramani sikkapadang samadhiyami. Adinnadana veramani sikkapadang samadhiyami. Kame sumiccācara veramani sikkapadang samadhiyami. Musavada veramani sikkapadang samadhiyami. Suramere majjapamadhattana veramani sikkapadang samadhiyami. Tisaranena sadding panchasilang dhammang sadhukang surakkitang katva appamadhitabhang. So, now that all of you have made this determination and the promise of veramani sikkapadang samadhiyami. Veramani is to abstain from. Sikkapadang are the disciplines. My principles with my disciplines. Samadhiyami is I promise myself. Yeah? So all of you have made a promise to abstain from. Wait without harming yourself or killing or harming another. not to take something that doesn't belong to you anymore, right? Not to say anything that is not true, and not to get lured into bad behavior and intoxication. This is a promise you have made to yourself. So what should you do with the promise? Break it or keep it? Keep it. So now whose responsibility is it to keep it? Exactly. Yeah? So if it is your responsibility to clean it, to keep it, yeah? You should not blame anybody. You should not blame anybody else. Yeah? So if you were to take something of somebody's, you will only take it if you allow yourself or you allow somebody else to influence you to take it. Yeah? So you are the only one who knows how to keep the promise that you have made now. So to me, saying the precepts is one thing, but living the precepts is another more important thing. Neither do. So it's important to say it, but it is more important to live it. And what is most important is to know when you break it. Yeah? So when do you break it? When do you break it? Bhante, when it suits me, I keep my principles away and I go and become bad, naughty. Is that right? The moment I have a gainful outcome, I go with the gain and I don't follow my own principles, no? So I am as bad as that. So each one of you must see why you do so. And that is the most important thing. So if you don't see as to why you do that, you can't live the precepts. So all what you will become is a person, morning, noon and night, you'll have to keep saying the precept. You'll have to keep saying the precepts, but not living the precepts. So to me, as a monk, I am a monk who lives the Dhamma. I don't recite the Dhamma. Why? Buddha has already said it. So if Buddha has said it, why should we be saying it? No. Should we be saying it or living it? Living it, my do. So the teachings of the Buddha is to be lived and not all the time to be recited. So important to understand this, no? Right. So today's topic, right? Nangi, Aki, what's today's topic? Returned replies. So how many of you know the word return? What is to return? Tati, giving it back. Yeah? Now, when you say giving it back, can you understand what it sounds like? Does it sound good or does it sound bad?
That's how you look at it.
I know. Giving it back. My turn to give it back. Return, T-U-R-N, turn. My turn to give back. Give back good things, give back bad things, give back the right things, give back material things, yeah? Give back love. Doesn't matter what it is, but my turn to return. And it is not just return, in reply. What is reply?
To give back something again?
Exactly, but this time it is apply. So return my application. Return how I apply to it. And these two English words give a lot more meaning to my behavior, to my own behavior. So are you Akki or are you Nangi? Are you a Akki or a Nangi? Akki. So how do you return?
By giving
Yeah. So do you always return? Yeah? Should each one of us always return? Should we be returning all the time?
I think that is what we are doing throughout the day.
That is what we are doing all the time. But I don't think that most of the time it is even appropriate to return. Because an argument is all about returning. One person says something, you return it back. And they say something back and you return it back. And it's only your nature to return a reply that lengthens the argument, lengthens the debate. Do you argue with Ammi? Do you argue with Ammi? No. Aki, do you argue with Ammi?
Yes, I do.
Why?
Because sometimes we both don't agree at things and then I don't know.
It is okay for Ammi not to agree, but why can't you just agree and stop it?
I don't know why, but then I can't sometimes, but I try my best to.
I know, I try my level best, but I just can't stop replying. I just can't stop myself from responding, saying something, or reacting, doing something. And most of the time, is it done with kindness or with aversion? Definitely with aversion. But ask me, I am a kind person. Ask me, and I will tell you how kind I am. No, Puta? Are you a kind ayya? Or are you a ayya who fights Malli? Don't say anything, huh? Don't say anything. Now the strange thing is that I only choose to return a reply to certain people. Not everybody. Not everybody. There are so many people on the road, on the streets, in the shopping malls. They do a lot of things and say a lot of things, but I don't return a reply. I turn a blind eye. I look the other side and go. But with certain people, I choose to stand up and stand my grounds. And I will debate and debate and fight and fight and fight till I have my last, I have my way, last laugh. I have the last word. I am always right, so therefore listen to me, Kela. Then you keep saying it. I'm a person like that, right? So who taught you to be like that? Who taught you? Amazing! How did you know to learn these things? No, Buddha. Nobody taught me how to reply. Nobody taught me how to return things. But I know when and how, to whom I return as many a thing. And at times, I give back with interest. Do I give back with interest? Do I give? Yeah. So, there was a very interesting discussion that happened yesterday. As a lady came, and she was sat, and I quite very kindly asked her, ma'am, you came here, right, with some expectation. Yeah? With some expectation. So, what is it that you expected? Yeah? Did you come here with expectation? Yeah? Expect to see a monk? Yeah? So, what was your expectation? Yeah, to learn something of the teachings of the Buddha. So, Buddha says, my Buddha, his teachings are always something that I have to investigate with. Buddha's teaching is always to be investigated with. So Buddha's teaching is always not to learn something, but to use to investigate with. Right? So this lady came and said, Bhante, I thought I came here with the expectation to take something useful. Take something? Okay. So Ayya, what is useful Buddha?
Something that can give you advantage to yourself.
Yeah. So how many things in this house are useful?
There are useful stuff like tools, and there's decorative stuff.
Right. So there are certain things that are useful for you, and the rest is not useful for you.
Probably not useful for you, or something useful for someone else.
Exactly. Now there are so many people in this house, and everybody seems to have collected something that is useful for them. Now we have to live with other people's useful things that are useless to me. Now, I'm sure in this house, have you got toys? Hindu? Yeah? Have you got toys? Now, do you think your toys are useful for Amma and Tati? No. But it is very useful for you, right? And they put it away when you don't want it putting away, he said, no? And when you want to play with it, they say, not now, later. But they are only useful for me, and others don't seem to understand the use of it for me. So now that returned reply comes on board. So my Buddha, this world is all about each person trying to justify, right, what is useful and what is not useful. Right? And this is why the return replies are present. Now, in this house, right, and in each one of your houses, you will have a lot of material things that are useful and some not useful. But Buddha, what is most important is not the material things, but the memory of what you have. So how many of you have chairs at home? So you know that you have a chair, right? Is it useful or not useful? All of the chairs? Exactly, depends on the situation, and some chairs are useful, some chairs are not useful. And have you sat in all the chairs in this house? Maybe, maybe not. Now, it all depends. Now, the chair is a chair, but now you have to go remind yourself whether you sat on them or not, right? So now, Buddha, you are the carrier of a message in your memory, whether you used it or not. Yeah? Now, that memory, is that useful memory or not useful? How much of memory do you have that is of no use? A lot. More than the material, I have more memory of. So, Ami, how many times do you think you may have cleaned a chair and adjusted a chair and put it in its place when everybody else just puts it everywhere else? And you remember all those times? And then you remind them, I told you not to put this there. Of no use, but I remember it. And now I use it in my existence to now manage other people, control other people. Yeah? Bhante seems to know a lot about me, right? So now, first question that Buddha says is that if each one of us is built with our memory, vijnana, big word, but for the discussion we'll call it memory. Yeah? Now, how much of useful information or unuseful information is present inside? Yeah? Can you hear me? So how to know the information you have is useful or not? How much of information are you keeping with you? Yeah? So you can get your own back with another. How many things are you remembering, right, in your memory, so you can use it later and get your own back. Give back to another.
A lot.
A lot. Why? Why do you think that we are the best carriers of information of another so I can give back? Can you hear me? So, Buddha, now Buddha says, in the practicality, if you want to remove some of this information, from your memory, how to do it? How to remove things from the house, Buddha? What should you do? You chuck it, junk it, throw it away. Yeah? Yeah. So, can you do that from your mind?
It's a bit harder.
Bit harder. But it's easy to put it in there, right? Yeah, it doesn't matter what space is there or not. It's so easy to, just stick it in there. Do you know how much of memory space we have? Couple of megabytes or couple of gigabytes or couple of terabytes or petabytes, or what sort of a memory do you think we have?
Our brains are always making new ones, so
Yeah.
infinite. So you can,
Infinite memory.
well, how do you say it? Your brain can remember anything. It can remember anything it wants to remember. So that's a lot of information in one life.
Yeah. So the brain and the associated mind can memorize as many things that you put in there. But I still feel that there is a limit of certain things and there's saturation of certain things. Yeah, you tend to forget the things that are not important after a while. Dhammapriya, you were in school, right? You remember the school friends?
Some of them,
Why the others?
because they're not important probably.
There you are. They're not important. But you remember your mother and father, right?
Yeah,
But you met them before going to school, right?
yeah.
Yeah, but you remember them still. Yeah, because they're important.
Yeah.
So suddenly the nature of putting an importance to a memory causes you to remember it. And if you don't put an importance with that or a value to it, you don't remember it. So certain things we remember because of the importance. So have you been angry, Aki, with anybody?
Well, yeah.
You have.
Yes.
Why?
Because some of them might have done bad things to me.
Wow! See that video? Okay, tell me a list of 3 things that are bad.
Okay, backbiting.
Yeah?
And then, well, telling lies.
Yeah?
And then,
See how difficult it is to identify the 3 bad things? But people have been accused of bad, wrong things. But I can't even tell the 3 things in that way. Chutidu, have you said lies? Would you have said lies in the past? Yes or no? You may have. You choose to be silent. Wise girl. Aki, do you think that you may have lied in the past?
yes.
Who knows that you lied? You sure your mom knows? Or is it only you who know that you lied?
No, my mom.
Mom knows that you lied. How? Do you go tell mom that I lied?
No.
Then?
She can see from the face expression.
From the facial expression she has learned to read you? she's a clever mom. I thought lies was always to be kept secret. Isn't it? So when you lie, who knows that you lied? Yourself. You are the only one who knows that you lied. And now you are the person who carries that memory, but not only the memory, the guilt of lying, and maybe the regretment of lying. And you are the one who suffers with the guilt and the regretment of the lie. And that is what this vipaka word is about. Returned reply is about. It's how for whatever wrong you've done, how the consequences are born in you. Right? So all of us experience things in this manner. So now you say that, yeah, I remember, right? And the bad others have done. So one is backbiting, other was lying. Third, hard to remember. Now, you do not know even whether another has lied or not. Have you lied? I have. Don't tell when and to whom. Don't tell us. Because then we will also be, no? We will also know it, no? So, all of us may be guilty of lying at some stage. All of us may be guilty of killing at some stage. Have you killed before? Insects, ants, mosquitoes. So all of us may have taken something that doesn't belong to us. So like that, we may remember certain things of our own. And we are to suffer with the memory of it and the guilt of it. Right? Then we remember things of the other. Right? Now, Buddha, comes another something in us. We seem to be the best judge. Yeah? We seem to be the best judge of what? Of everything. Not just me, but exactly, my Buddha. We seem to be the most opinionated of another person's being. Right? We seem to be the best judge, and we are the best opinionation of what the other person is. So we know how to say who is good and who is bad, who is right and who is wrong. And then do what? Do we just be, or do we punish another? Do we just be, or do we punish the other? I know. We come to an opinion of another, and now we use that, our opinion and the outcome, to now bring justice. And we punish the other. Yeah? So have we punished Ammi and Tati? Huh? Yeah. No? What's that precept? Musavada, Vera, Mani, Sikka. You're sure you haven't punished Ammi and Tati? You haven't thought that if I do this, that they'll be punished for what they did for you?
No, I have thought that.
You have thought about it? Yeah. You ask to go for a party and they say no. Now what do? Do you just smilingly be, or go slam the door and do this and do that, and you bring about your own actions, so they have to suffer the consequences of saying no and not sending you to a party? Okay. Have you done that?
Yes.
Yes. How about you do? Have you done that? Yeah. So all of us are guilty of bringing, right, punishment on another. It doesn't matter whether it is your father or a mother or a brother or a sister. We are guilty. But we are the greatest opinionators. Our opinion, our view concludes certain ways, and now we choose to reply in return. So, when Buddha talks about the word lobha, dvesa, moha, the nature of selfishness, the nature of aversion, and the nature of delusion, moha. This moha, delusion, is my way of returning all replies. This delusion is to continue to reply, opinionate and judge on the other and on the circumstance, and now reply. And then remember something of that incident and use it in the future. So you have a party this Friday, you have a party next Friday, you have a party the third Friday. So you ask, Ami, can I go for the party? Can I go for the party? These are people who have been born and they have a birthday. So Ami, birthday party, birthday party. So now after third birthday party, what does Ami say? No. Why? She remembers that you have gone for 2 parties before. She's counting all the, not Ammis, Tatis, right?
Yes.
Yes. Why just bring Ammis into the game, no? Yes. So Buddha, this is what this existence of life is about. And the teachings of the Buddha says, Buddha, that we have to always be kind, and kind towards yourself and kind towards another. Okay? We'll ask at Amma at the back. Amma, do you think that you are kind? You are. You are kind. Amma, do you blame other people?
Sometimes.
Amma, is blame a kind thing? Is blame kind? So why blame? Why blame? We are the greatest opinionators, and our opinion, Buddha, makes us blame another. Our opinion and judgment causes you to judge that the other person was wrong, and therefore we blame the other person. So do you think the other person is to be blamed? Bante, I don't understand it to explain, but it just sounds fair to blame the other person. No? Yeah.
Yeah, it only helps us sometimes.
Exactly.
It really helps us.
Exactly. So, but now, if you go out in the world somewhere, right, onto the streets and see something, right, and see something that is wrong, right, now what would happen?
If it's really wrong and you really don't like it, so based on your opinion, you go and stop it.
Yesterday, Buddha, I'll give you an example. Yesterday we were going in the car and another car had stopped in front, right? And the man, right, got off the car and next to him was a bin, but he had a heap of tissues, maybe that he's having a cold. And he just threw the piece of paper on the ground and not in the bin that was about 2 feet away from him. Is that the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do? Wrong thing to do. So now who's to be faulted? The one who threw it.
Depends if you had the habit or not.
I know, but now we are judging the other person. But first of all, what I saw is that I was there and I chose to look at him. If I didn't look at him, would I have seen what he did?
No.
Then would I have to judge him?
No.
So who looked? So I am the person who always chooses to look. And by looking, now I have learned to be critical. Critical. find fault with other things. And because of this criticalness, I choose to reply in this way, finding fault of the another. So now who's to be blamed, Ayya? It's hard. Because this is what enlightenment is. The hard thing is to take ownership. That if I didn't look, I wouldn't have seen it. I only saw because I was there and I chose to look at it. So now that I'm born around some people and I just have to be with the people. And have to make contact with the people and I seem to have no choice about it. And other people are around me who seems to be as judgmental as I am, and now, in certain times, I'm supposed to be obedient. Malli, are you obedient? Sometimes. Other times? Disobedient. Or are you stubborn at times? Yeah. I don't like doing it, but now I do it angrily. Or I wait without doing it. How stubborn are you, Aki? Not so much. I don't understand what so much meant. Yeah? To me, if there's a number 2, yeah, and I'm only 1, that could be so much. If you were, right, that had 100,000 and you were 80,000, would that be so much?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought as much. So the quantification is something we make, no. So I'm happy with it. So Puta, this is what I think every one of us should first investigate. Okay? So hands up everybody or anybody who is not a son or a daughter. Oh. All are sons and daughters. You are a daughter. Puta, you are a son. Okay. So everybody are sons and daughters. So each one of us are a son and a daughter to whom?
To our parents.
To our parents, to a mother and a father. So now that we are born and born to a mother and a father, what should we be doing? What are we expected to do? We should respect them, we should be obedient, and what else? There is a word called duty. Dutiful, yeah, not beautiful. Beautifully dutiful. Or dutifully beautiful. Bante, all the variations. No? So each one of us is supposed to fulfill duty. Do something for them. Duty bound. Yeah? And this duty bound, first duty bound is to thank and appreciate your mother and father. Appreciate them. Is it easy or difficult? Don't even say anything. So Puta, the day we were born, we had no choice other than depend on our mother and father to do something for us. And that day, we were very grateful that they washed us and cleaned us and fed us and did everything, right? Yeah? So what happened as time went on?
We started doing those things by ourselves.
So true, Maidu. Each one of us was what is called sufficient. We were able to do most things ourselves. Yeah. And we had less dependency on them doing it for us. And now they started intruding with their duty. Did I see intruding? Yeah. When other people feel that they should do more, no? So the mother and father wants to do more. And I want them to do less. And would they listen to me?
No.
But do I have to listen to them?
Yes.
So now conflict. So now the return reply is, are made up. So as time goes on, right, the nature of obedience and the nature of transaction becomes such that we are finding it difficult to say thank you to our parents. But we forget the beginning. We forget how difficult it was for them to satisfy my first demands. When I was hungry, I didn't know how to ask, I only knew how to cry and somehow got fed. Yeah? When I want myself washed, I cried and got myself washed. Yeah? When I was not comfortable, wanted to be cuddled, I cried and got a... But today, when you cry, would you get anything? No. But Malli gets it though. Some get it, some don't. Some get it, some don't. So now suddenly inside you there is what is called unfair. Unfair, unfair, unfair. So certain people see another person being unfair. And now what happens? So the return replies of conflict, of aversiveness comes on board. So Putta, what I see in a human being is that they must always remember the beginnings. You must always remember the beginnings and be thankful if the beginning wasn't what it was, none of you would be who you are today. Maybe with some constraints, but at least you have yourself and the constraints because of the beginnings. So one must always learn to appreciate another of the beginnings. Yeah. So can you say thank you, Amma, thank you, Amma?
Thank you, Amma, thank you, Amma.
Very good. Can you say thank you, Amma?
Thank you, Amma, thank you, Amma.
Very good. Malli, can you say thank you, Amma? Do you know how to say thank you, Amma? No? Ayya, can you say thank you, Amma? Very good. Manu, can you say thank you, Amma? Didn't Kian Ruanda? Kian? Then, see, we are not used to this. We are not used to a discussion with a Bhante. Plus, he is asking us to say something that is not normal. But enlightenment is something that we haven't done before. Enlightenment is something that we've never done before. But we must be able to bring it out in you. And kindness, first thing in kindness is to be able to very openly appreciate another person for who they have been in the past. And you must be able to say it. Thank you, Amma, thank you, Amma, thank you, Amma, thank you, Amma. Thank you for sending me to school. Thank you for looking after me. Thank you for giving me the toys. Thank you for giving me all the things I liked. Yeah? Thank you for avoiding all the dislikes. Yeah? Thank you for fulfilling my expectations. But not all of them have been fulfilled. But at least a few that got fulfilled must be thanked for. Yeah? Yes. How do you feel? Feel different, right? Yeah. Feel light. Feel light. Amazing feeling. Right. So, second thing. Not only should you appreciate the other, but you must also know how another appreciates you. Do you know how Amma appreciates you? Yeah. Do you think Amma appreciates you? Yeah. The enthusiasm reduced in the years. Yeah? Are you the firstborn? Who is Amma? So do you think Amma appreciates you?
I don't know, maybe.
Ouch. You don't know if Amma appreciates you? My dude, does Tata appreciate you? Why? So true, so true. So Puta, yeah. But Tati, before that, I would like to remind you this little thing to you, Tati. Now, you are called Tata. Why are you called Tata? Why do you think you are called Tata? Why are you called, and why do you think you have this duty as a Tata? Why do you think you have the love towards the child as a Tata? Right? And these responsibilities and all. Why? There must be one reason, no? Yeah. The birth of this daughter was the reason that I was called a. If she was not born to us, I wouldn't have been a Tata. And now I'm a Tata to a daughter, and I'm also a Tata to a son. We don't appreciate, but actually I will not have these responsibilities if these children were not born to me. So thank you Puta, thank you Puta. Thank you for being born to this world and to me. So I had this responsibility of a father or a mother. Yeah? So I now can. Puta. Didn't you bring that joy in me? Huh? I did. So self-joy is about being able to bring this joy in you of how much appreciation others may have had of you. So just imagine the first day you were born, how proud Amma and Tata would have been, Puta. Carrying you around, showing you around, first born, this, that and the other. Okay? And if they were not born, I wouldn't have that name nor the responsibilities. So, true, they are not as obedient as they were before, and they do things that bring dishonor, all true. But at least the first day they were born, I was so happy that I became a mother from that day, yeah? A guardian in that way, a responsibility in that way. So, be appreciated that way, that all your parents, mothers and fathers are able to thank each one of you for being born to this world. I have some value now, no? Yes, Bhante. I have some value. I can relate to some things, so I can be happy. So, Puta, this nature of appreciating another person in the kindness and being appreciated by the other is a very, very important thing. Very important thing. So, this transaction is the beginning of what Metta and Karuna are about. The Maitri, compassionate nature, and the nature of kindness is present only when you have these first two transactions. In any relationship, one must know how to appreciate the other person, and you must also know how to be appreciated by the other person. So two things. You must be able to say thank you, right? And you must also learn when other people say thank you, what do you say? You're welcome. So every time you say you're welcome, and you're welcome, and you're welcome, and you're welcome, you feel appreciated. So now these two words are just in the English vocabulary, and we don't even make use of it. But today, from a Dhamma point of view, if you know how to say thank you, and really mean the thank you and appreciate the other person, and say you're welcome, be appreciated for what you are. Right? Now you've done a lot of things to Ammi and Tati. Yeah? So then Ammi and Tati must be saying thank you, do, right? So what must you say? Welcome. Yeah. So even if Ammi is raising her voice, yeah? You must remind her, Ammi, thank you for giving me birth, Amma. And wait. Appreciate Amma and be. Right? That should be the chosen reply. Always appreciate the other person, even if they are angry with you. No? At times it may go the wrong way, ne? So just consider. Right? So the next thing is that, how many of you know to ask for forgiveness? Do you know how to ask for forgiveness? Have you said, Amma, I am sorry? Yeah? Have you? Good girl. Malli, have you said, Amma, I am sorry? For what? Doing something that you choose to be bad, or doing something that Amma chose bad? Huh? Yeah. So when Amma chooses that these are the bad and wrong things to do, and you have done them, now you are supposed to ask for forgiveness. Sorry. So what happens when Amma does things that are bad for you? No, sorry. Huh? She says, I'm very sorry, yeah? But now it's time for you to stop watching television and go and study. Does it start with I'm sorry? Or does it start with the instruction?
Instruction first, he says sorry, and then he says what is bad and you must do it again. And he says why it is bad.
Yeah. Very good. So you understand why it is bad. But you still continue to watch television. So there are certain things we understand, there are certain things we don't seem to understand. So, Ami, is it easy to say sorry, or is it easy to be sorry? Take time to understand, right? Is it easy to say sorry, or is it easier to be sorry? It is easy to be sorry. My ego doesn't allow all the time to say sorry.
It's too much.
It's too much. It's easy to be sorry. It's easy to feel sorry. But not easy to say sorry. So, I am very easily attracted to ask for attention. Being sorry and feeling sorry. Feel sorry for me, feel sorry for me, be sorry for me. Yeah? But if I have to ask for forgiveness, so in the teachings of the Buddha, one of the things that is most important is to learn, knowingly or unknowingly, in speech or deed, in doing something or saying something, you have made another person to be upset. You must ask for forgiveness. For giving. Giving is dana. For giving is samadana. Samadana. So you must know how always to bring about peace. And always ask for forgiveness. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Can you say I'm sorry?
I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Fantastic. Ammi at the back, can you say I'm sorry? I'm sorry, do, I'm sorry, do, I'm sorry, Puta, no? So,
I'm sorry.
can you see, it took a while to get it out of her. Why? Not only just the ego, what we seem to do is to hide the few things we are not sorry in a compartment, take the things that we can say sorry to, and just say sorry after that. This is what we do. We hide the few things that we can't ask for forgiveness. That we want to keep it for a rainy day so I can get my own back. Return replies. And then we behave the other way. So this is what happens. That's why you take a bit of time to compartmentalize those things. This is how the mind works. So now, Reading how the mind works is in the Abhidhamma and in certain suttas. But if you read it, you're not going to learn about your mind. But only way that you can learn about your mind is by investigating and admitting your own self. Admittance. So this is what the Buddha said. See yourself and say. So, appreciating one person is one. Be appreciated by the other person is a second. Third is a nature of forgiveness. Asking for forgiveness. And now, not only should you learn how to ask, but you must also learn that every time you ask, that they have forgiven you. So do you think that other people have forgiven you? Yes? Now I'm going to relate a little to Zoiputta. Recently, I was having a little discussion with a group of people and my sister was there with me. And we were having, and she was saying certain things and we finished the discussion, we went off. And suddenly, next morning, I get a text message from my sister. I said, Bhante, I'm very sorry if I said anything to hurt you. I recollect the discussion. I can't remember anything that my sister said that hurt me. So I ring her. He says, man, you are saying that you're sorry and to forgive. I have forgiven you. What was said? Then she asked me, don't you remember? Now who remembers that they hurt me? The person who said it is now suffering for one whole night for saying something, thinking that it's hurt me. I don't even recollect the discussion. And I wasn't hurt. But they've said it with the intention to hurt. So I asked her what it was. Then she said, oh, if you can't remember and didn't hear it, it's okay. It's okay. So I waited for a while, knowing that she went with not on her own, with two other people who had the discussion. So I just rang them and said, oh, by the way, how was the drive back? I said, very interesting. I said, what happened? Oh, we were discussing a certain thing. Good, good, good. Then I said, oh, by the way, did my akka mention that she hurt me? I just asked the other person. Then she said, oh, yeah, she mentioned. I said, what did she say about it? And suddenly she revealed the fact of what the akka had said. Little petty thing. But to her, she wanted to say something to, spite me in a way. But I wasn't. Yeah? So, Putta, to me, in this monkhood, one of the things I always say to another is, for whatever wrong you may have done in the past, I forgive all of you. I forgive all of you. For whatever wrong you may be doing now, I forgive you. For whatever wrong you may be planning to do in the future, I forgive you as well. I forgive you in all three of the circumstances. Yeah? Now what happens, my Putta? If you have been forgiven for the past, if you have been forgiven for the present, and whatever you plan to do in the future, right? So you're okay with me, right? Because it doesn't matter what you do, I forgive you. Do you think you develop? Yeah? Why? Because you're forgiven, no? So my question is that if all of us are forgiven for what we are, when are we to learn to be a better person? When are we to learn how to be a better person? Now, to me, what I saw of my life was such. Recently, a gentleman comes to me and says, Bhante, I see you morning, noon and night, having discussions, having counseling, doing this, doing that. Aren't you tired? How do you continue with this? Yeah? How do you continue with this? So, Ayya, do you know what a marathon is?
Yeah.
What is a marathon?
It's a long distance run.
Uh-huh.
And
Have you run it?
Yeah.
What happens after you finish running it?
You're tired.
You are tired. So now, Puta, now that you have run one of these races, a marathon race, 26 miles or whatever, and tired as what you know it is to be, and you sit down, and the moment you sit down, a wild elephant chases you. What would you do?
You run.
You get up and run, doesn't matter how tired you are. To save your own life, you will run. And Puta, I told this to this gentleman that I have seen this wild elephant, and to me it doesn't matter how much I have to exhaust myself as a human being, I will do what is needed to enlighten myself. I can't say I'm tired today. So at least 15 to 18 hours of meditation has to be done in a day. Attitude. If you want to enlighten. Yeah? So some of these discussions and things like that are not necessary. Some of this counseling is not necessary. But to me, I make it a necessity so I remember the Dhamma. So this discussion is a very important one for me to remember the Dhamma. So I forgive and forgive and forgive and forgive myself for who I was. I forgive myself in the present for the few mistakes I'm making. And the future is to happen, and I don't want to make the same mistakes again. Don't want to make the same mistakes again. So, in this manner, my Putta, you must always know how to ask for forgiveness. Okay? Lastly, you must also learn how to accept the forgiveness from another. Does Amma say, I'm sorry, do? She does. For what? Do you think your Amma has been unfair? But you ask her, she will say, I wasn't unfair. Because you judged Amma to be unfair. You are the only one who saw that Amma did more to other brothers and sisters and less to you. Your judgment. Not that Amma did so. But you judge it. And now you accuse Amma for doing so. And now you want Amma to say sorry to you. So you are the only one who remembers those incidents of the past, and you are the one who's keeping in the memory and using it in return reply. That you were unfair to me with Ayyas and Mallis and Nangis and Akkis and everybody. So I am the cause of it. So I am the one who should accept a forgiveness from Amma. Amma doesn't need to do anything because Amma's memory of what she has done is not what it is for you. So you are the one who should see that Amma has asked for forgiveness. Amma has already said, I'm sorry, do. So what should you do? If Amma has already said, I'm sorry, do, what should you do? Do you just be, or you say, it's okay, Amma? It's okay. Is it okay? Huh? You have to say it. So every single thing that you remember of unfairness that Amma may have done in the past, what should you say? It's okay, Amma. It's okay. I understand that you did what you had to do, and I'm the one who judged it to be unfair, wrong. So I am the one who should correct it. So it's okay, Amma. It's okay, Amma. It's okay, Amma. It's okay, Tata. And to every single person in this world, you should be able to say it's okay and let go of the past, Buddha. Let go of the past. It's of no use. Holding all these angry thoughts, unfair thoughts, where you are waiting to get a reply back on, of no use. So, Buddha, I want to bring a little example in this way, right? Ayya, do you know what a clock is?
Yeah.
What is a clock?
It's a device that tells time.
It tells time.
Yeah.
How many hands has it got?
It's got two.
You should. Three hands. What are the three hands?
One tells the hour, one tells the minutes, one tells the time.
Yeah.
Time and seconds.
Seconds. Yeah. So there's a second hand.
Yeah.
Or seconds hand.
Seconds.
Seconds hand. Yeah? So what is the seconds hand supposed to do?
Seconds hand is supposed to tell the seconds in a minute.
So the minute hand, right, is on its own, but the minute hand is dependent on what? It is dependent on the seconds hand going round 60 times, so it can go one round. So what is the dependency on the other hand? Our hand is dependent on second hand and the minute hand going round 60 times for the minute hand, and so many times more for the seconds hand. So when a seconds hand move from one to another, the minute hand is happy, the other hand is happy, right? So the day is waiting for the other hand to go 24 times round the clock face. And the week is waiting for 7 of those days to go by. And the year is waiting for 52 of those weeks to go by. And my life and my life expectancy is waiting for certain of those years, certain of those days, weeks, hours, minutes and seconds to go by for me to end it in a way. So my Putta, every single moment where the second hand moves from one point to another, what do you think I'm doing of my past? Am I keeping my past behind or carrying it forward? You are? But you still remember of all the bad of the past now. So what do you think you're doing of what you remember?
Taking it along with you.
Exactly, do. Carrying it along with you, not knowing the dependencies and how heavy all of it is about. Every moment, right? Memory of my past is dependent on one another, and I'm carrying it every moment, Putta. Making new stories up, linking new stories to the old stories, and carrying it forward. Carrying it forward. How heavy is the past?
We don't know. We don't know how heavy my past is.
How old are you?
15.
Good.
Turn 15.
Yeah, so you're going to turn 15. For 15 years you've collected, right? So how heavy do you think Amma's past is?
46.
Yeah, so the period that Amma has been and all the transactions Amma has read and whatever she remembers of the transaction is what she is carrying. And now it is not just this birth, it is of previous births as well. So where is it going to end? Who is going to end it?
Ourselves.
Ourselves or myself?
Myself.
Thank you. Yeah. Talk about this self, because that is what you need to stop. Because when we finish this discussion, these people will disperse and go away. But myself is still there, causing it more. Yeah? It's only for this discussion that we all have gathered together. The moment the discussion finishes, ourselves is no longer there. But myself is still there, causing it, and collecting more. Amazing, eh? Yeah. So it's my responsibility to stop whatever I have to do. Stop collecting. Stop collecting. Stop collecting the angry thoughts. Stop collecting opinion of others. Stop judging other people. Because it's all just excess baggage. This is all excess baggage. I know. There's going to be further discussion later on because Bhante's discussion has triggered a lot of things inside. Stop opinionating. Stop judging us. Stop remembering of all the wrong and the bad of us. Stop punishing others. Because we will not get another chance as a human being where the teachings of a Buddha is to be present again. At the present moment, The teachings of the Buddha is disappearing at the moment. The next time you are born as a human being, there would be a very, very different world that you will be born to, if you are born in the short term. The last 50 years after independence, what do you think has happened? After most of the countries got independence, what do you think has happened?
Developed.
Yeah, technology or something has come aboard, some competition has come aboard, and everybody has now started to run faster that they can keep up with. Yeah, but before that, the pace wasn't the same. Now, we are running where free time is just not available. These children here in the front here may have a future that they may not know how to cope with even. Each one of you adults, right, who work about 14, 15 hours a day, yeah, to earn whatever you earn today, and when you retire, you are setting an expectation in the world to perform the same thing you are performing. And these children who come to the world have to start at a higher pace to perform the way you all are performing for the bonuses today. I remember my little past. I remember the number of free time we had, Buddha. Every evening we had at least 4 hours of cricket on a road somewhere. I don't see the 4 hours of free time that you all have. It's lost. Don't know to what. Right? I remember that my school, I had to get only marks out of 100. Is it the same for you? Or a 200? Each subject you have to get 100 out of 100, right? Yeah. So I also had to get 100 out of 100, you also had to get out of 100 out of 100. But the effort I put to get 100 marks is very different to the effort that you all now have to apply. So Buddha, this world has become something that I don't think we know. We are blinded by certain things. Yeah? We are blinded by the pace of this world. So, the culture has changed in a way, right? The traditions have made us come abroad, and we have certain things that have changed in our lives. And I do not know whether each one of us are aware of the absolute truth of what the Buddha's teachings are about. Yeah? Am I right in saying so? Yeah? So, the Buddha says that this life is governed by craving. Right? Governed by craving. What is craving?
It's attachment for you want more.
You want more.
Yeah.
You want more. You need more or want more?
You want more.
Or you like more?
You like more.
You like more.
This is based on like.
You expect more.
Yeah.
Can you yeah. So there's no one word, Bhante. So we talk about the word tanha, right? And in English, we try to, summarize the word. But actually, this word tanha is a mixture of a lot of conditions. The word like and the word opposites of dislike is all tanha. The way you expect the like and the dislike is still tanha. The way you need it and want it, or don't need it and don't want it, is still tanha. Right? So there's no one word that describes this. So now my first question, just ask yourself, what are the things you need? Do you think all of us need the same thing? Well, we may need some fresh air to breathe, but it's taken for granted that it is there. We may need some space to be, but it's taken for granted the space that we need. Yeah? We may need some time to be, it's granted that we have the time. But what we are fighting for is nothing other than material possession. For material possession. So everybody are trying to learn something to gain materially to be. Whether we need it or not, doesn't matter. So each one of us justify what we need. Each one of us justifies what we want. And now others judge me with my needs and wants, right? So this world is influencing us in many a way. And today, a competition has begun. Competition. So the few people that we interact with is adequate for us to compare and now compete with them to have more. Have the same or have more. Can't have lesser. Is that right, Aki? Yeah. So somewhere down the line, I always want to say, oh, we also have it. I also have done it. I have seen it. Yeah, I have it. We have it. Hard otherwise. Have you got all the Barbie dolls? Have you got Barbie dolls? All the dolls. Have you got all the ponies and the cars and things? No? We'll speak later, yeah? I'll tell you all the things that are necessary for the Barbie doll, right? The moment you go and see the next friend who has certain things, suddenly you create a need for it. No? There's a need for it. And now I justify in some manner to say why that need is present and why it should be fulfilled. And maybe at times I would lie through my teeth to get it. Justifying the need. So like this life has become such a complication when it actually is so simple. So simple. And this world has become such a blameful place. Blame. Do we blame? How easily do we blame? Very easy. Very easy. Tata, have you occasionally been late to office? Yeah? What would be the easiest excuse to give them as to why you are late? Accident, traffic. Yeah. What would a traffic or accident mean?
You're late. What do you mean traffic?
What does traffic mean?
It's when there's a lot of cars when road's congested, so there's a lot of cars on it.
That's what traffic is about? Yeah. To me, traffic is about the people who came out of their homes before me, obstructed me coming here on time. Blaming the people who got up early and got on the road before me. Isn't that what traffic is? Accidents are about the people who came early and hit each other and blocked me from coming to office in time. So the people who woke up early are to be blamed for my delay. You understand what I'm saying? So like this, when you actually look at what you're doing, you begin to see that there can't be no blame in this world. As I am the cause of my experience. Who is the cause? Who? Yeah, I caused it. I am the cause of all the experiences. Why? Everything that is experienced is caused in this body. Sensed in this body. And whatever that can be sensed in this body is caused by me. And everything happens because of who? Say it loudly so Amma can hear.
Me.
Yeah. Ami, you hear, right? Aki is saying that I am the cause and everything happens because of me. Just read yourself inside and you see how true it is. As this is what Buddha saw. Buddha saw that this nature of self, right? The causation of self is itself. I am the cause And everything happens because of me. And it's these two, I and me, that goes and possesses everything as mine or not mine. Tati, who is that? Who is this? Not my daughter. Yeah. She is also a daughter. She is also the eldest in the family, Aki. But that is my daughter. This is not my daughter. And this is all there is in this world. Things that are either mine are things that are not mine. And what is mine is only beneficial for me. And I'm the person responsible for my things. I am not responsible for the behavior of this daughter, right? She can do anything she wants. I don't get blamed for it. So this is the way each one of us have possessed this world. And the society has accepted that that is adequate. So each one of us carries the blame or carries the responsibility that can bring blame. Yeah. So how frightened is Ammi about you?
No, little.
You think so? Little? If Ammi had any feelings inside, she has the biggest fear. Ask Amma. Why has she got the biggest fear?
For my future.
Not just for your future. My Buddha, more than the future, Ammi has the biggest fear that you would do something and do something wrong, that others will point the finger at her and say, are you a mother like this who allowed this to happen? Yeah. This is the biggest fear parents carry, Buddha. They carry the responsibility, they carry the duty, and they are frightened of the duty they carry, and nobody wants to admit this fear. Tanhaya jayati soko, tanhaya jayati bhayam. Bhayam. We are constantly in fear that others may do something and I would be blamed for allowing them to do so. So the day you appreciate that Amma may be frightened of being blamed for my behavior, what should you now do? Behave well, and now respect the fact that Ammi has taken the responsibility on your behalf. Yeah? So well put, Bante. All of us, Buddha, must be aware that our elders, right, our guardians, teachers in school, carry a responsibility on our behalf. Right? Carry a responsibility on our behalf. And you must know how frightened they are of our behavior. Maybe of some of the things of the past, maybe what we are doing in the present, Buddha, and whatever that we may choose to do in the future. Amazing. Amazing. So just take time to consider. Just take time to consider how another person in their duty, in their responsibility, now chooses to take so and now are frightened of your behavior. Frightened of your behavior. And what you should be doing. Yeah? So Buddha, this is, first of all, you must be aware of the truth of the teachings of the Buddha, and then admit how it is lived in each one of us in the present. And the moment you do this, moment you are aware of it, that heaviness is taken away. The burdenment is taken away. Yeah? So Aki, would you know why Ammi and Tati may not allow a lot of things for you to do? Not that it's bad for you. I don't think it's only the category of bad. Maybe that all of what you're asking for compared with others may be something that Ammi and Tati will be found fault later on. Saying, you allowed your daughter to go out too often and that is why this has happened. Now what is Ammi and Tati going to say? What do you think Ammi and Tati can do? Do you think they can defend? No. But your behavior, your enjoyment, your life is causing blame on them. Do you like blame? So if you don't like blame, why do you blame others? Don't say anything. Why do you think you should bring blame on others? No? Hard. But others seem to have choice and control over each one of us, right? Does Ami choose for you? Yeah. And do you think Ami controls you as well? Yeah. But they may, in their duty, have that responsibility for a while. So, Ami, do you think that you are indispensable? What is indispensable?
Cannot live without.
Yeah. Ami, can the two boys live without you? Some of the mothers are saying, answer. What would they do without me? No? So, some people in their duty, in their responsibility, feel that they are indispensable. That others can't do without you. But actually, given half a chance, will be better without the interference. But in certain cases, in certain times, we are dependent and dependent on guardians. Okay? So, Aki, do you know that there are 3 or 4 words of the word dependent? Do you know the meanings of this? Are you a dependent? Are you dependent on others?
Not really, but on my mom, yeah.
Yeah. Dad?
Yeah, on my parents.
Yeah. On the law?
Yes.
Yeah. On the people making the roads?
Yeah.
So like that, when you continue looking, the dependency is greater and greater and greater. Now, how about interdependency? What is interdependency? Or is it that Ammi is dependent on you and you are also dependent on Ammi? Interdependent.
Yeah, on my mom.
Yeah. You love her, she loves you. And if she didn't have you, you can't love her and she can't love you. Interdependent. And what is the word of independent? Dependent, interdependent, independent. What is independent?
By ourselves.
By yourselves. You are dependent only on yourself. So there's still a dependency, right? And then there may be other words of codependency and things like that. Yeah? So very interesting when you start investigating some of these words, because the Dhamma is about this investigation. The Dhamma is about the investigation of these words. And more you start looking at the word and the way this word is lived by each one of us, you begin to understand who you are. So, each one of you as a son or a daughter, now look at these 4 words: dependent, interdependent, independent, codependent. You see how it is structured in the transaction with the other person. And now you'll see how in each one of those transactions you have chosen to return the replies. So when you feel independent and the other person doesn't feel that you should be given the independence, the return reply is one way. When you are interdependent and the other person sees that you should be independent, there is a further reply. So life is not that straightforward. And life is all judged and opinionated by yourself. So, this is the teachings of the Buddha in many a sutta you take, many a discourse of the Buddha you take. It is how he has taken a group of people, seen a transaction and explained it with an example. This is what the Tripitaka is consistent of the commentaries. Right? But more than the commentaries, my Buddha, if you just take a little time, as we've done now, to listen to each one of yourselves. Yeah? To listen to each one of yourselves. You will begin to see how prominent the teachings of the Buddha are present in each one of us. Yeah? So, my Buddha, I would like to take a few minutes, right, to do a little meditation. Is it okay for you to do some meditation? Yeah? So, each one of you as a son or a daughter, I would like you to take your mother and father. Yeah? Mother and father. And I would like you to learn how to appreciate your mother and father. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. From the day you were born, I would like you to see 9 minutes too much. Is 9 minutes okay for you? Can you sit for 9 minutes quietly? Yeah? We'll do that, right? So, I would like you to, each one of you to consider as a son or a daughter, to appreciate your mother and father. Then I would like you to consider being appreciated by your mother and the father. Yeah? So you must know how to say thank you, thank you, thank you, and you must also know how to make up a story of how they would appreciate you. So, as a son or a daughter being born to the mother and the father, you make them the mother or the father. They get the name of mother and father because of you. And from there onwards, recognize all the things you have done, good things you have done, to pay your duty towards your parents. And recognize it, remember it as a good thing to do, because your gratitude increases. The moment the gratitude increases, there is what is called self-joy. Mudita is present in you. So you feel lighter and lighter and lighter. And then go through that forgiveness. Ask for whatever wrong you may have done, right? To make them punish you and this and that. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. But not only asking for sorry, but ask for forgiveness and receive the forgiveness. And forgive them all. And now, very quietly, enjoy the rest of the period, considering your past and freeing yourself of these defilements. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. How does it feel? How does it feel? Very comfortable. Haven't felt this good for a long time. Yeah? My heart is feeling light. My mind is feeling light. My body is feeling light. And all the aches and pains have gone away. And this is only with the mother and father that we ask for forgiveness and said thank you. Just imagine if you go to every relationship you have and just do this for about 5 minutes. What do you think will happen? Do you think you will become healthier? Definitely. The moment you begin to live the kindness, this body becomes to recover and become kinder and softer and lighter. Less anger you have, greater the health in this body. Greater the anger you have, more problems this body carries. This is where the Girimananda Sutta explains. There are 10 ways we perceive, and that perception causes this body to fall ill, he says. Medical sciences doesn't approve of this, so therefore I am unable to speak about it. So, at the moment I am having a little congested nose. But this started when I landed in Dubai. But before I landed, 20 minutes before I landed, in the aircraft, the pressure dropped. What happens when the pressure drops? Your ear becomes, and this ear hurt me so much. I've never incurred so much of discomfort and pain in the ear. And I was angry that nobody in the plane, the stewardesses or the pilots or anybody didn't do anything about to adjust the pressure back. But they landed. So got off and came in, whole head and one side was hurting for 2 days, 3 days. And then with that a cold came, this came, that came. Day before yesterday, Ravi was talking to somebody, making a phone call, and suddenly he said, oh, so-and-so works at Air Lanka in Dubai. And relieved was I, right, inside me thinking that I can speak to that person to say what happened and find something, a better solution. The moment I said that, I heard this, earache went away, congested nose went away, the feverishness went away, and now I am okay. Why? I was angry with Air Lanka and the pilot. Yeah, I was angry that they didn't attend to my discomfort. So, anger causes no end of pain in this body. No end of pain in this body. And very easy to understand, each one of us are the manifestors of pain. Right? So, before we stop, I just want to share one little story. In Sri Lanka, I went on a little retreat, did a retreat on Christmas. So 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th, 4 days. I took 3 families out and we did a Christmas retreat. Yeah? So on Christmas Day, I decided that we were going to have a picnic. So we packed our lunch. We were in Gampala area, Pupuras area, and went up to a estate. Yeah? And drove quite high to the on the mountains. And when we went and stopped around, there was what is called a spout peel again. Yeah? So when you see a peeler, what do? So Dhammagawesi Andhra was still in his robes. I went and put my head underneath. Cold water. Right? So the head got extremely cold. So when I stood up, there was a young girl, 10-year-old. So then she was looking at me. So then I turned out to her and said, you can't do this now. 10-year-old daughter, and I'm challenging her, you can't do this now. She said, I can. So what does she do? Ask Akka to come, holds on to the Akka's hand, goes under the peeler and puts her head out. Now what happens? I have no hair. What about that daughter? Spout. A water spout, and she puts her head under it. Whole head is wet now. No towel to wipe. Now what happens? Dripping water on her head, she is now there. So then I told Akka, you can't do this now. So what does Akka do? Akka has a long hair, she says, I can. Puts her head underneath. All the boys were there. All the boys came. They also put their heads under. Right? So everybody dripping wet heads and with Bante now talking. And suddenly the parents come there. Now what would the parents say when they see their children wet in their head with her? Who asked you to do this? Who has asked? Bante. Can't scold. Bante can't scold anything. So then I said, oh, don't shout. What is the problem? Bante, their heads are wet, they have nothing to wipe, they'll get sick. Why? Head is? First understand, this body, your mouth, is it a dry place or a wet place? Wet? So when it's wet, does it fall sick? Your eyes, are they dry or wet? Wet. Does it fall sick? Not because of wet, no. So your nose, dry place or a wet place? It's wet place. Your ears? So now Puta, this skin, if you remove your skin and turn it upside down, what's underneath? Is it wet or dry? So this whole body is nothing other than a wet place, other than the outside of the skin, right? So do you think that just because you wet the outside that you'll fall sick? You don't. It's only a perception that we have that certain cases, if... So we decided that few who wanted could bathe. Bathe with the clothes that they were on. So now what happens when you are with wet clothes, my Pata? Do you fall sick? Supposed to fall. So then I asked, if by any chance these daughters were by the pool and they were in a swimsuit and they were to jump in the pool, come out, jump in the pool, come out, jump in the pool, come out, they're going to be in wet clothes, right? For how long? Hours on end. Would they fall sick? That's a swimsuit. No, this is not a swimsuit. No. So this is a perception we have. A child, when they get wet in the rain, it's wrong. But if they go under the shower and get wet, they get clean. So perceptional. So decided, and now everybody got wet the way they wanted, and they decided to go and have lunch. We went, sat down, Pata, and they had lunch, and none of them fell ill. Because that evening, I decided to stay up till midnight, right, Christmas Day, and we had a log fire. Outside, in the Puparas area, the temperature would have been quite cold. And these are people who had now got wet in the morning, whatever. And in the night, there's a little dew as well. Did they get sick? Everybody woke up quite happy the next day to tell a grand story. So I'm very practical with this Dhamma, to explain to people as to what the teachings of the Buddha and how it is lived by everybody. How it's lived by everybody. So perceptions are what causes people to fall ill with. Perceptions. So what you need to know, how to now see the perception. So maybe that we get a second opportunity somewhere, we will go back to discussing of perceptions. Yeah? How each one of us make the because and a because and a because, as becauses are only a perception. Because. So your life is nothing other than a because. Everything is just a because. So that's the next realization you need to have. That's the next realization you have. Right? So Buddha says that this life is all a perception and all caused by me, and you need to investigate yourself. And now when you look at the past, present or future, you just see that it is everything that you have caused. I have caused. Because. If you woke up this morning, each of one of you woke up, why? Because. If you ate something, why did you eat? Because. And in the future, are you going to have lunch today? Because. All the things are just a because. You understand? Why did you comb your hair that way? Because. A because, and a because, and a because, and a because, and everything is just a because. And everybody is just a because. This being the cause. Caused by me. Caused by me. And only when you see it in this manner, you begin to understand what the Buddha was trying to explain. It doesn't matter what caste, creed, religion, or sex you are. You are nothing other than a heap of becauses with likes and dislikes, now trying to live as I, me, and mine. This is a summary of the teachings of the Buddha. I, always benefiting me, possess things as mine or not mine, for the mere nature of likes and dislikes and the expectations. And now, with these, I have caused and justified everything as because. And my returned replies are all a because. Because I like them, because I don't like them, because I hate them, because I'm angry, because I return the reply. This is who I am. And this is what you need to investigate in the Dhamma. And this is the only truth in this world. So, let us all take this opportunity to realize and recollect the discussion and the merit that we've gained. The highest task of realizing is seeing this I, me, mine. And may the merit of seeing this be shared with all the living beings. Let us all recite this stanza and share the merit with all the devas and the living beings. Etta vatacha ammehi sabbadham punya sampadam sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Heta vatacha ammehi sabbadham punya sampadam sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Heta vatacha ammehi sabbadham punya sampadam sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Let us also consider all the people who have passed away in our names, in whatever realm they may be, to be seen or not to be seen, close by or far away, born or yet to be born. May all of them receive this merit that we are offering them in abundance. May all the relations, friends, and neighbors of us, expecting merit from us, receive this abundance in the same way. Let us all recite this stanza to offer the merit to all our relations. Idhamme jnati nang hotu sukhita hontu jnatayo. Idhamme jnati nang hotu sukhita hontu jnatayo. Idhamme jnati nang hotu sukhita hontu jnatayo. Let us all consider the nature of forgiveness from the Buddha, the teacher, the Dhamma, the teachings, the Sangha, the following, for whatever knowingly or unknowingly we may have said in speech or done in deed. May we all be forgiven. Let us all recite this stanza to ask for forgiveness. Kayena vacha chittena pamadena maya katang acchayam kamame bhante bhuri panya tatagata. Kayena vacha chittena pamadena maya katang acchayam kamame dhamma sandhettika akalika. Kayena vacha chittena pamadena maya katang acchayam kamame sangha supatipanna anuttara. So for all the merit you have gained, may all of you, this merit be bestowed upon you for your betterment, for your health, for your appreciation of this nature of enlightenment. May all of you, in whatever determination you have, fulfill the elevation to the status that you all determine to be. May all of you be able to receive this merit and this blessing in silence. Sabbhitiyo vivajjantu sabbarogo vinasatu Mati bhavatvantarayo sukhi digaiko bhavatu sabba mangalang rakkantu sabba devata sabba buddhanubhavena Sabba Dhammanubhavena Sabba Sanganubhavena Sada Sati Bhavantu Te Abhivadana Silesa Nityang Vajjapachayino Chattaro Dhamma Vaddhanti Ayuvanno Sukham Balam Ayurarogi Sampatti Sagga Sampatti Mevacha Ato Nibbana Sampatti Himinyati Saminjatu Nidu Niru Supattiva Supattiva Supattiva